For the amount of time I've spent talking about video games, there's one topic I've never seemed to cover for any reason: the console. I mean, it'd be kind of hard to play the game without it. Nowadays, there are 3 major companies whose consoles you can play your favorite games on: Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft. And PC, but we're not counting that one because they're so customizable that their quality is completely inconsistent. Also mobile, but that doesn't count. When it comes to which console is the best, there's really no objectively correct answer. Except for the Switch, which is the objectively correct answer. Back in the day, when Nintendo announced they were debuting a new console, everybody was hyped. HD graphics, touchscreen, it was handheld, but it could play on the TV. It was truly the amazing announcement we were all waiting for. And when they finally hit shelves and people got their hands on it, they were like, yeah! Woohoo! Woohoo! This thing is horrible! This is awful in every way! Because I was actually referring to the Wii U just then. Now, admittedly, this awkward piece of hardware has some pretty decent games on it. Captain Toad, Super Mario 3D World, Pikmin 3, which you can tell were great because they were all re-released for the very next console, something Nintendo point blank refuses to do 99% of the time. Also, I think it had something to do with the fact that no one actually bought the thing, and they spent way too much time making these games for them to not sell at all. The problem was that the system itself was kind of a mess. The gamepad was awkward to hold, you couldn't take it that far away from the base, so that killed the portability. The name made it sound like an add-on to the previous console. Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival was there. I think it's really funny how Nintendo completely fumbled the Wii U, only to entirely redeem themselves by transforming it into the Switch a few years later. Simply put, the Switch does everything you could possibly want in a console, because it's a combination of the best aspects of every video game system since their invention in 1972. It's got touchscreen, it's got motion controls, you can play it on a giant 4K television, it's portable enough to bring on a plane, you've got a controller that splits into 2 so you can play co-op. While Xbox and PlayStation are fighting over which console has the best games or the fastest load times, the Switch is completely blowing them out of the water, with hands down the most innovative hardware in the history of video games. Pair that with the insane library of Switch-exclusive IPs, and it suddenly seems really unfair to rank these 3 consoles next to each other. But I, for one, am the kind of person who can recognize that even though something is technically the best, it doesn't automatically have to be my favorite. Ode to Joy is the most artful and well-respected piece of music in human history, and has been accurately celebrated as a masterpiece for over 300 years. But I like Fireflies. No, my favorite console is the GameCube. Admittedly, a bit of a nostalgia-driven opinion, but I do have some reasons to support it besides the fact that it's the one I've played for the longest. One advantage older consoles seem to have over more modern ones is that when you buy a game for the GameCube and you put it in the console, you can then immediately play the game that you just bought. When I buy a new game for the Switch, I usually put the cartridge in, see it start to download, take a shower, get some lunch, file my taxes, watch all 3 Lord of the Rings movies, celebrate 4 nationally recognized holidays, and about that time, the game is almost 70% of the way loaded. I found Twilight Princess in GameStop earlier this year, and when I loaded it into my Wii, I was shocked, like, oh, right, I can just play it now. Now, the Switch controllers are pretty good. They're creative, they're comfortable, but I'm sorry, Sakurai, they got nothing on the GameCube controllers. Mostly because GameCube controllers actually work. I currently have 4.5 Nintendo Switch controllers, 7 if you split up the Joy-Cons, and approximately 3 of those can be expected to function consistently. Meanwhile, my GameCube controller, which has gotten a little roughed up over time, still controls just as well as the day I got it. If you still don't agree with me, Nintendo has released methods of using GameCube controllers on every console since. Heck, my best controller on their current console is my GameCube one. Also, side note, you didn't hear it from me, but there's actually a little device you can get that lets you plug any controller you want into your Switch, be it Xbox, PlayStation, or even the Steam controller, I think. Yeah, the buttons are all messed up and you can't always use motion controls, but it'll save you a fortune on Joy-Cons. You wanna know the real reason why I like the GameCube so much? Because all it does is play video games. On the PS4, you can live stream Hulu. On the Wii U, you can go to Amazon and buy a better console. On the Xbox One, you can use it to watch YouTube. The GameCube says, oh, you wanna watch YouTube? Well, too bad, this is the GameCube, not the YouTube Cube. Now play Luigi's Mansion. So let's say you're in the market for a game console. Which one should you buy? Well, I think the answer is pretty obvious. The PlayStation 5. No, but the main thing you need to consider when getting a new console is what exactly you want to do with it. If you just want to play non-exclusive titles like Fortnite, Assassin's Creed, Sonic the Hedgehog, I've heard that the Xbox One has some pretty fast loading times. Unfortunately, I can't confirm that because what it doesn't have is any good exclusives. So if I bought one, I would be paying $300 for a console that can only run games already available on my PS4. Why would I want a PS4? Uncharted, Spider-Man, Ratchet & Clank, Horizon. Wait, not that last one though. Except maybe not, because now Sony is putting all their new games on Steam for some reason? What? I thought the whole point of releasing Super HD remakes of relatively new games was to entice people to buy the new console that's way overpriced. But now everything new is also going to the PS4, and anything with improved graphics is also going to PC, so why would anyone want the PS5? And then there's the Switch. 3 of them, actually. The Switch Lite is pretty good, I guess, for if you're just looking to play something during long car rides and want to save some cash, and the kind of people who buy the Switch OLED are the same kind of people who buy NFTs. In my opinion, it's worth it to just stick to the original thing. It's not the fastest console out there, but it is the most versatile. The downside is that you now have to live with the fact that you just gave Nintendo money. So I guess the best console is PC. Emulate everything.